Star Trek is big at ComicCon. It's on our badges. It's on our lanyards. I got my I got my lanyard right here. Look at this. Let me go full screen here. Star Trek is all a buzz at the con. There's me. Here's our lanyards. It says Star Trek 60 on the lanyard. Can you see that? You see that, Alan? Strange New World, Star Trek 60, and there's my badge. So Star Trek is a big deal. Lots of panels, lots to discuss at the con. But the future of Star Trek on television is still unclear. It's still unclear. I know you have notes for a story, Alan. Let's take a look. The story is from The Wrap. Let's go.
All right. Well, Star Trek. Yeah, I know. You got to hit that.
Go ahead, Alan.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
As Star Trek celebrates its 60th anniversary with the return of Strange New Worlds Season 4 and a Comic-Con celebration, the franchise is entering a certain period. While the Strange New Worlds and Starfleet Academy already had additional seasons planned throughout 2027, no new Star Trek series has been announced, and executive producer Alex Kurtzman's Paramount contract is set to expire, with renewal talks still ongoing. Oh, I hope that happens. Kurtzman revived Star Trek in 2017 with Star Trek Discovery, launching an era that expanded the franchise with multiple live-action and animated series. Kurtzman Trek has been praised for embracing Star Trek's long tradition of diversity and progressive storytelling, but also divided fans. Some criticism focused on creative decisions and storytelling, while other backlash came from online anti-woke critics, objecting to the franchise's inclusive direction. Among the modern series, Strange New World became most widely praised. Picard had a rocky first 2 seasons before ending on a fan favorite third. Discovery, Lower Decks, Prodigy, and Starfleet Academy were all eventually canceled or concluded. And the 2025 TV movie Section 31 was widely criticized and became one of the franchise's lowest rated entries. Paramount now appears to be prioritizing Star Trek's return to theater. A new film from John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein is in development and expected to be a fresh start that isn't tied to the previous films or television series. Studio executives reportedly see Star Trek as a major theatrical franchise, hoping to revive the momentum created by J.J. Abrams' 2009 reboot after years of unsuccessful attempts to launch another feature following Star Trek Beyond in 2016.
Yeah, their big deal is they're announcing a feature. I saw some info about that. The info about it is it's really far in the future, further than the current Starfleet Academy. Now, if it's so far in the future, is it even Star Trek? What's the point? So if they're going to launch a new Star Trek that is as far away as we can get from Captain Kirk, from Jean-Luc Picard, from events in Starfleet Academy, then why don't you just create a new space adventure, space utopia adventure? You know, what is the point? I feel like it's ridiculous now at this point. So, I mean, look, I don't think Kurtzman will be renewed. I think all these announcements are development, not any substantial new project. And I don't know, I think the interest, you really got to look at the numbers. And all this is, the merger even plays into this. I mean, California and other states are trying to block the merger over politics. Because basically, the guys, the shepherds of the Ellisons, the shepherds of Paramount, are just not down with the dominant ideology in Hollywood. They just want to make movies that entertain everybody and don't push any particular agenda. And that's not allowed. And so they're trying to block it. Hey, Rob Bonta, what's he, the Attorney General of State of California,
Yes.
he's heading this.
Fully useless.
He's a moron. This guy's a moron. If they block it, Ellisons have said we will leave California and we will go to Tennessee, and that's where the studio will go. They'll leave. It will destroy the industry in California forever. Which is disgusting. So, and also, where were these states when Disney bought 21st Century Fox? Where were they when Disney became the biggest company buying Fox? This is all bullshit posturing. I think anything announced, don't believe it. And Kurtzman is out. So what do you think, Alan?
Well, I think all this news, I mean, the unfortunate thing for Paramount is that this is the 60th year of Star Trek. And so they're kind of stuck. They have to celebrate it. And if you look at the people who are representing all shows in Star Trek at ComicCon, they're the ones that we've been criticizing for a very long time. Obviously Shatner's not here. In fact, look, here's how I would reboot Star Trek. I would have the Enterprise. I would zoom in onto the captain's quarters, and there is Shatner waking up saying, "Oh my God, it was all a dream," and then just start reboot from there. Just start it all. I don't know. I think you can. My point there is you could just can we just cancel everything that has happened over the last 10 years? I don't know. I think, I think that's all I got to say. I read these stories. So hold on. I read these stories and I'm just unexcited. I don't care. And, I feel like they're just celebrating something for the sake of celebrating it. And we just gotta end it. Cut it off.
Look, I dropped a link in the private chat, Lori. If you would play this video, it's a 1-minute video that will give you the current state of Star Trek, popular space show, every popular space show. 1 minute. Let's watch this.
On screen. Greetings, Captain. I represent an alien race not necessarily based upon a specific human ethnicity, but it still feels kind of iffy.
We represent the vegetarian space socialists who are always right.
You guys are the worst.
We know.
My people will not leave this planet under any circumstances, even though it is going to be destroyed.
But that planet is going to be destroyed.
Then we will leave.
Ambassador, your vessel appears to be traveling at an unusual angle.
I do not understand, Captain. From our point of view, your ship is at an unusual angle.
Normally when we meet other ships, they're like this. But you're like, oh, can't you see what I mean?
No, Captain, this is space.
Oh, I'm at a weird angle.
There is no up in space.
Why am I at a weird angle?
I do not sound like that.
I'm going to beam you to the bridge, and when you look back at your own ship, you're going to see what I mean.
Captain, I must protest.
Shut up, I hate you.
I cannot see what you think this will prove, Captain.
It's going to prove that your ship's wonky. See? Someone get me a Vimto.
I mean, this just proves, like, I think the best Star Trek being done now is the Orville. Just watch the Orville. I don't know. I think the future is unclear until this Paramount WB deal goes through. I think you know who has to get involved in this? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has to pick a side and say, with all due respect, state of California and other blue states playing politics, get out of our business. No government has ever really helped any industry thrive. If anything, they get in the way of small business, big business, and progress. Government needs, sure, you need guardrails for consumers, but that's it. Get out of the way. Let corporations, let business people who produce something of value that you can tax, let them thrive and survive. And we did a reaction to that trailer. I recommend everyone check out The Uprising with Andrew Garfield. That movie is going to resonate. That's in the zeitgeist. We've had enough. We've had enough of being taxed to death and regulated and controlled. So I think there's a tax revolt coming in California, and Star Trek is in the midst of it.